Yeah, welcome to another episode of the Racer X Exhaust podcast, brought to you by Yoshimura. There is a little bit of racing still going on while we wait for Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, which, pour one out. By next weekend, we could have been racing. But there is a Grand National Cross Country event this weekend, and Zach Osborne has decided he's going to race it, so that's who we're going to talk to today. Actually, yesterday, I recorded this, and I'm playing it now. It's all brought to you by Yoshimura. You know they've got the exhaust system you need for your motorcycle, your ATV, your street bike, your mini bike. I think they have some side-by-side stuff. You can get it all. Go to yoshimura-rd.com for the latest. And yes, they have stuff for KTMs and Husqvarnas. I know they're primarily associated on the factory racing side with Hondas and Suzukis, but they've got something for you, and they look cool, they sound cool, etc., etc. They've also got the Yoshimura cycling line. Go to yoshimuracycling.com for more on the Chaleo pedal, made in the USA, super high-end, available in 2 sizes. They've also got some cycling kit over there. And also, this is brought to you by Psychic MX, a full-range motocross brand from engine internals to your everyday wear and tear parts. From your weekend warriors to you full-on race guys, they have everything you need. So check them out, psychicmx.com, or visit your local dealer today. Do you know how to spell psychic? I can only do it because I'm reading it right in front of me. PSYCHIC-MX. Then add a .com and see what they've got. MX Tech Suspension manufactures professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. Their quality engineering is based on a lifetime of specializing in dirt bike suspension. They've developed the Lucky Fork, dual springs, dual cartridges, Huck valves, and ultra lightweight. MX Tech utilizes the latest in technology and coatings to deliver maximum performance while remaining the lightest shock available. Go to mx-tech.com for more information. And finally, Evil Coffee Company back on board with us for a while. They were giving out the Deadline blend of coffee formulated just for us here at Racer X. They used to give it away with a subscription. They have their own subscription now. I highly recommend you do it. They'll just drop off coffee at your house. Go to evilcoffeecompany.com. Premium flavor, discounted price, shipped free directly to your doorstep monthly. It's a special coffee grown in Costa Rica, and a small batch is then roasted in Columbus, Ohio. Now, what is specialty coffee? I don't know. You know me, bro. I'm cheap. I just know they sent this to me, and I like it. But specifically, it means coffee beans that have scored 80 points or above on the 100-point coffee review scale based on aroma, acidity, body, and flavor are all taken into account. And I take those things into account, honestly, with many things beyond just coffee. Aroma, acidity, body, and flavor. Reminds me of the college days. Okay, so that's our sponsors. Our show today, as I mentioned, Zach Osborne, who has been like a dog on a leash wanting to get back and race GNCC. I feel that way myself. I've been planning. I went to one this year to hang out. I rode sweep, but I always try to race one per year. So I'm going to race this weekend. It's the high voltage GNCC right near High Point, but it's not High Point. It's like a mile away. They raced High Point a couple of weeks ago, but I think, was I in Utah then? I missed it for whatever reason. So now I'm going to this one. Zacho's going. My kid's going to race. It'll be his first GNCC ever. 5 years old on a P-dub. So I was actually out there pounding motos, and we had an interview scheduled with Zach. So he was in his garage, and I was out at this little stretch of land that I get to ride on, and we talked GNCC. Here's Zacho. Dude, I am motoing down. There's my steed. My little guy's riding today. That's his bike's back there. We are preparing for GNCC. What are you doing, Zacho?
Sitting in my garage at the moment. Went out for a little bike ride this morning. What?
That's not going to cut it.
No, I'm going riding tomorrow, trail riding tomorrow.
Okay.
At Croom, I hope. It's a little bit sketchy with the current situation with state parks, so I may have to find somewhere else to go. But for now, the plan's Croom. I got all the bits for the bike this week to make it as similar as possible to what I'm going to race, and yeah, feel good about it. Looking forward to it.
Okay, so look, I know you wanted to do this, and you did race GNCC years ago, but you wanted to come back for a while. What actually allowed it what kind of hoops did you have to get through to get this green light? Because I know you've wanted to, but you need the circumstances to line up.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the times are unique and things are strange. We don't really know the future as far as what's going to happen with outdoors and everything.
Yep.
Like, we're planning to go racing in the middle of August, but we'll see. We don't know, and I just kind of offered my services to do whatever, whether it be GNCC, Canadian Nationals, whatever. I want to go racing. I'm not going to just sit here in Florida and grind until, we go or we don't go. So I'm happy to go and race and have some fun, and it brings some recognition to the brand, and I think it's good for everyone involved, and I'm just looking forward to going racing again.
Was that a hard sell? Or most years obviously they want you to focus on one thing, or do they actually get excited over this idea of you doing different stuff?
No, everybody's pretty keen on it. Obviously with Husqvarna, there's a lot of opportunity with this kind of stuff. They have a bike for literally anything I would ever want to do. So yeah, it was a pretty easy sell. They were keen, and the higher ups were all about it. So for me, it was pretty easy.
Okay, so look, I know that there's a little piece of woods off to the side of Baker's factory, and you're always looking at it longingly. And Caleb Russell sometimes comes down there, and maybe you both look at it. But have you ridden much off-road or wood stuff at all anytime recently?
No, somebody asked me the other day, like, when's the last time you were in the woods? And I was like, I don't know when the last time I was in the woods. I know the last, off-road race I did was the Day in the Dirt in 2015. Okay. I did the Coup de Grace, which is their 2-hour race or hour-and-a-half race, but it's mostly it's at Glen Helen, and it's mostly moto, I would say. There's some pavement and some off-roadish sections, but nothing that's going and hammering in the woods. So I think the last time I was actually in the woods was I did a Mid-East hare scramble in 2014, I think, in South Carolina randomly. And I think that was the last time that I did any proper trail riding. And the last GNCC I did was Georgia that same year, but it rained insanely, and I don't even know. I don't think I even finished. It was just a disaster that day.
2014. Who are you riding for in 2014?
Geico.
Okay, so you were on a factory Honda team. You weren't some rando privateer. And
yeah,
you
it was a little
local Mid-East hare scramble.
Yeah, I was. I don't even know how I ended up there. I was training at Club MX, and I just saw it on the list and thought, oh, that's cool. I'll go ride, whatever. And I think I got second behind Strang. We had a really good battle for a while that day, and it was fun. It was actually one of the funner hare scramble courses I've ever done.
Yeah, that's my local series. That's my buddy Bjorn Hamrick.
Yeah.
That. So is Croom tomorrow the first time you're getting to the woods, or did you manage to do that Monday or Tuesday or something?
Nope, I just did my normal program Monday, Tuesday. Yesterday we rode actually at Baggett's at his track, and it's been raining a lot, so we've been trying to ride really early, but still yesterday we started the second moto at 12:30, and we got kind of halfway through and got hammered. So yeah, I think Croom's a good option because it's sandy. It's kind of the closest trails I have that are accessible, that aren't private or whatever. And for me, it's just a little bit of time to go and ride the bike and get used to the weight with the tank and everything. So I'm not too spun out about that. I'll adjust, I'll adapt to what I got when I get there on Sunday. My only real hope for Sunday is that it's not just a quagmire. I hope I get that it's a decent track and that we get to actually get into it and hammer a little bit.
Yeah, from what I see, the forecast is actually for that area. I mean, look, you've ridden High Point your whole life. Rain seems to always be a threat. This isn't High Point. It's a mile away, and it seems like it might be hot. So that's probably going to play in your favor. Yeah,
I think that plays in my favor a little bit. Obviously, I haven't raced in a GNCC in a long time, and I know that these dudes are bad dudes. I trained with Caleb for the last 3 summers, and I've been around him a long time. We've been friends for a long time. So, it's not like I'm underestimating what I'm getting myself into. I have a good understanding, actually. So, I just want to go there. I hope to put myself in a good position and just kind of run up front and have some fun. It's going to be a good, fun day either way.
Yeah, sometimes we've had a lot of motocross guys jump in, and sometimes there's a little bit of edge, chip on their shoulder. Like, this probably won't surprise you, but Ryan Hughes tried this like 10 years ago, and I think there was a little bit of smack talk about what he could do. But you put in the press release, it's so Zacho to say, whatever I finish is what I finish. I don't think you mean this at all as like I'm going to show people anything.
No, not at all. Would I love to go there and win? Yeah, of course I would. Would I love to go there and get on the podium? Yeah, of course I would. But I'm not going to put any pressure on it. Like, it's just a fun thing. It's good for my brand, Husqvarna, and, everyone involved. So I'm just going there to enjoy myself and have some fun. And if the opportunity presents itself and it's not, a massive risk for me to go for it, then I'm going to go for it.
There's only one time that like a rando jumped in and actually won one of these, and it's the guy who specializes in doing what shouldn't be done, and that's Doug Henry. Are you familiar with that race at all? And to the level that Doug Henry was willing to go, he did win the one GNCC ever did. Are you familiar with what happened at that race?
I've experienced about the same level of dehydration the year I did the Florida race. I did know he won, but I don't know the full story. But yesterday on my Instagram, someone had commented about Gothic J, who's an off-road legend, worked for Honda for a long time, was saying that Doug's legs were so cramped that he was just like riding around with them behind him or something, which I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then Doug, I think, commented he was going through sand whoops with his legs dangling and just bouncing.
Yeah.
He won, and then, I'm the TV guy, right? So I tried to interview him, and he just laid down and just basically collapsed and didn't get up.
I did the exact same thing at I ran out of water on the last lap, and it wasn't extremely hot that day, but it was hot. And I ran out of water, got to the finish line. I got third in XC2. I think I was 7th or 8th overall. And got to the finish line, drank a bunch of water, like maybe 4 bottles. And like within 5 minutes, they were just like projectile 5 feet out of my mouth, like coming back up. Then I got to the podium, and like, I was standing there and I was like, I don't know, like I might fall down. So I just laid down.
Yeah.
So there's a picture somewhere of me just like laid out on the podium, just chilling.
Oh gosh. Now I remember when you did those at the beginning of the year, and our buddy Steve Mathis, I think he's our buddy. He's a guy we know at least. There's a chorus that was saying, dude, that's not good motocross training. There's a long endurance. Steve's on board with this. He's okay right now with racing this weekend. But you always defended it and said you were surprised how soon you're training for motocross to do some of these off-road things.
Yeah, I think the intensity is maybe a little bit less, but I mean, at the same time, anytime that you can go out, learn, and spend 3 hours on your motorcycle, like that's a massive gain, especially in a race situation. Okay, yeah, it's not on a prep track or it is a marked course in a sense, but you know what I mean. Like it's not your closed circuit racing like we normally do. I just feel like it's a good experience, and I don't know. I'm at the point where I just enjoy going racing. Like I enjoyed that Salt Lake swing with 2 races a week a lot. Like that was me down to the ground, I think we ride a lot during the week, and there's a lot that goes into being at that nice edge, razor sharp focus that you see on the weekends. But at the same time, it's always nice to just go racing. Like that's what we train for anyway. So this is a bit of a different race, but at the same time, I think it's beneficial. And like I said, if nothing else, it's good for my brand and for Husky and Rockstar as well.
Are you worried at all if you do this? Let's say you do get to race in Canada or some other stuff. Are you worried about like burning it too far? And then if Moto does come back in August or even September or something, that you're going to regret doing too much now? Do you need rest time now? How does that work?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm going to get some rest time. It's no different than if I did a race, say on a Saturday, or if I go and do a GNCC on a Sunday. I don't think that there's a ton of difference as far as, my stress level. You got to look at the whole picture. You got mental stress, physical stress, your body and everything that's going on. My mental stress is going to be pretty low because there's zero pressure. I have no, nothing to prove or show. So that kind of takes some load off. And then the physical stress, I believe my heart rate and stuff will be a little bit lower than normal. So it's not going to, it's going to be almost the same as going racing on a Saturday at a pro motocross, in my opinion. As for the other stuff, I mean, I don't really think that any of that's going to happen, just the restrictions and where we're at with this whole deal. So as far as getting to pro motocross fresh, I think I'll be fine. And when I say other stuff, right? Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm saying. You know, I don't have any doubts about outdoors. What I'm saying is, I have doubts that I'm going to find anything else that I can do within the next 6 weeks to fill the time. I think if there wasn't the GNCC summer break and there was 4 or 5 more races, then yeah, I could probably do a couple more of those and be okay. But I think that just with where everything is and with the northern border being closed and stuff, I think it's just not realistic to be able to go there or go anywhere else.
Dude, the COVID taketh away. It almost gaveth, because it allowed Zach to do some things that he normally wouldn't have time to do in his schedule, but at the same time, the border crossing will prevent him from racing in Canada. Raise your hand if you would like to have seen him show up for a Canadian National or 2. That would have been interesting. I actually did ask him in this interview about going to Canada and quarantining, because our buddy Phil Nicoletti just did it. He went over the border, I believe, on Monday. Now he has to quarantine. He said they're calling him like twice a day. Canada's really serious about this, making sure he doesn't interact with people for 14 days. Phil's miserable about this. Shocking. Anyway, I asked Zach about it, and then immediately we lost service with our interview over the phone, because as soon as you talk to Phil, bad things happen. So we'll take a break right here. I'll mention Yoshimura, our title sponsor. Go to yoshimura-rd.com for exhaust, yoshimuracycling.com for their cycling stuff. And now, once we stop talking about Phil, then again, the phone call started to work better. So now I go back to Zach to talk a little bit about the end of Supercross.
All right, this is perfect. We talked about Phil. That ruined that conversation. I'm not surprised. Let's transition. Let's do a part 2 here about Supercross. Look, man, you are now a Supercross winner. We talked quite a bit after that race. What has it been like here these last couple weeks? Has that kind of sunk in, and are you walking on air at times?
Yeah, at times. I mean, it's just so nice to finish not only with the win, but like just to turn around what was, dismal, just a terrible season with a massive injury and all the stuff that I had going on, to get that sort of righted and headed in the right direction, and then to get a win was awesome. But just the consistency that I had there at the end was really good for me, and kind of changed my outlook on where I was at in my career or whatever. So I'm really pumped about that.
Yeah, and it's one of those weird things. As soon as you got on a 450, you were going fast, and you showed some speed here and there. But as we saw, and I talked to you about this with Adam Cianciarulo this year, very fast, could ride the bike well. But delivering it in an actual race is like a whole nother thing, and it's really hard to figure out when it's going to click. Like it just randomly clicked for you all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I think that you just race trim with the bike, and there's so many factors that have to come together at a perfect spot to get a win, and that was where I was. I didn't care if I was 10th in time practice. I knew that when the gate dropped on the main event, I was going to be at the front or very near, and have a chance to win. And I think that's just the biggest thing is finding that place where you're comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable with your bike, everything that's going on around you, your fitness. I kind of have that supreme confidence going to the line. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do good right here.
And do you know when you discovered that? Was it somewhere, like, did you get a result in Utah early and that tripped it? Did you feel that way coming in? How did that work?
No, coming in, I was struggling. After my injury, I had a couple of good days, but it was just a battle for me. My fitness was not quite what I thought it should be. My riding was timid, kind of mediocre at best, and I was struggling. Like I at one point considered not even going to Salt Lake because I just didn't feel like I was in a good enough spot to really go there and show anything at to be honest, So, no, I think I got that 5th at the first race from a really dismal start, and I was passing people at the end, which, is kind of my MO, like I typically do.
I got started. Keep talking.
Oh, you good. But yeah, then I led that second race for a really, really long time, and I think then I was like, oh man, I got on the podium, which at any point in the season would have been awesome, but I was disappointed with that. And then, a couple fourths or whatever, then I led again, and I was really pissed about that one. Like that one hurt, because I felt like I led it till 2 minutes to go or whatever and let one slip.
Right.
So after that, I was a little sour with my podium again. And then at the last one, I felt like I was in a great position, really, really good position to go for a win there at the end. And then my side panel fell off, and with the way the side panel is, it covers the pipe, so it's super slick and super hot. And yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, could you please defend your teammate Anderson also? Because I had a bunch of people saying, dude, he lost his seat and he gave up. He's got to learn to ride without a seat. You also, okay, the side panel, you are getting burned by your exhaust. But you did explain that a seat off, the way these bikes are nowadays with ECUs, not like riding an old school bike with the seat off.
No, it's not at all. You're sitting on a battery and a bunch of plugs, basically, and that's sketchy in itself. But also, like back in the day when you were riding a 50 and your dad took your seat off so you'd stand up more, if you sat down, you're sitting on the subframe rails. But that's not even close to how it is when you take the seat off of a modern day factory 450. Like, there's so much stuff underneath you, and right there, like I props to him for even getting it across the finish line, because it's not easy to ride a bike like that right now.
All right, you want to ride? You want me to start this bike? All right, I got to start this bike. But anyway, Zacho, look, obviously everybody's bummed that motocross didn't start when it did, but are you extra bummed? Because you had to have figured this momentum was maybe going to work in your favor if you could have started racing in your normal series as soon as Supercross was over, which was the plan.
Yeah, I definitely am bummed. I don't know what more they could have done to get it going with the circumstances that they've been served, but I'm super bummed because I wanted to go racing. I had momentum on my side. My fitness is good. I'm in a really good spot physically, and that's another reason why I kind of want to just go racing now. Is like I'm not going to waste this time, where I'm in good shape and I feel good and my body's good. That's what we work for. So I wish we were racing right now. So it is what it is.
All right, last thing, what do your peers think? I know you're friends with a lot of off-road guys. What are they saying about you doing it? And then are there any other moto guys you can convince? I guess it's too late now, but are people interested in this, at least guys you're friends with, other racers?
Like Marvin Coop, they're like, oh, how do we watch and this stuff? And I'm like, well, okay. It's one of those things, like it's like NASCAR where you can watch the start, have some lunch, maybe a quick nap, and then you can watch the end, So, but yeah, everyone's super pumped about it. Obviously, it's something different that no one really does that often. I think Peters is racing as well, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
But I wish more people. We get in this little like bubble roboto thing that we have to do all these certain things, and it does get hard to branch out when you find success and you have that routine and everything's just clicking. It's hard to branch out because you don't want to lose that momentum or that ritualistic program that you're on.
Right.
But at the same time, it's nice to be able to just go and do some other things every now and then, and that's the main thing. I think the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Like anytime you put something on social media, you're going to get like some flashback haters for, he's going to get smoked or whatever. But like people don't even really mention the result that much as like just how kind of off the wall or cool it is that I'm going and doing something that people don't typically do.
Yeah, that is awesome. I noticed the same thing. Like people think this is cool. People think this is great. Maybe it opens the door for you're weird about how much you want to do this, but maybe some other guys who are on the will get them in.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's a unique opportunity for everyone, and if things don't take off for the motocross series, maybe I get to do some more after the summer break.
Yep.
We don't know where it's going to go at this point, but yeah.
All right. We will. I'll be there. I'll see you on the weekend, man. Good luck. Thanks for doing it. It's just really a fun thing for the whole industry, I think, to watch this.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what the result will be, but 100% chance I'm going to have some fun on Sunday.
100% chance of having some fun on Sunday. Is that not awesome? People are really stoked, like really stoked. As Zach said here, the positivity on social media because he's trying this is off the charts. I think everyone just has just get out and do it, man. Get out and get outside and have some fun mentality more than ever right now because we've all been semi-cooped up lately and completely cooped up, actually, a couple of months ago. This has been a crazy year. Thank you, Zach Osborne, for giving us something to believe in. Once again, thanks to Yoshimura, our sponsor here at the Racer X Exhaust Podcast. That's it. I got to pack up and get the family ready to go to GNCC. I've got another podcast brewing with Malcolm Stewart. Yes, Supercross. I don't want to put it too far in the rear view before we visit with Malcolm, who had a really, really good season. It didn't get the headlines, obviously, of, say, Eli Tomac, who won the title, and he was just outside the top 5 in points, but he really was good, and Malcolm's always fun to talk to. So that'll be our next episode of the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for Yoshimura for backing us. And do not forget, by the way, subscribe to Racer X. We're still giving away that Specialized Turbo e-bike. All you got to do is subscribe, and you're automatically entered to win one. Those things are awesome. So go to racerxonline.com/Weege, WEEGE. Enter, subscribe, be happy, enjoy the outdoors time we get to have. They can't stop us from doing that. Thanks.